resumed his career. But first, we're going to divert a little from the heavyweights, and it's going to go to the junior middleweights, and a very well-known fighter in this area from Missoula, Montana, Todd Foster. 38-4-0 with 33 wins by knockout. Will go up against Reginald Strickland. Strickland, quite obviously from Covington, Kentucky, is strictly known as an opponent at 43-40-11. Only 4 of his wins by knockout. So again, we get ready for tonight's battle here. As again, Foster's up, and he'll be ready to go here in a few moments. Nicknamed the Kid, and he has had quite a run in his career.
Well, he was a former Olympian. Todd Foster was. He really got a great start in his pro career, Sam. He won his first 22 fights, then ran into trouble with former lightweight champion Jimmy Paul. Got stopped in the 7th round of their fight in 1992, and that began a bit of a downslide for Todd Foster that accelerated. In fact, he was stopped by Hector Camacho in 1995. Todd has really had an up and down career and is struggling to hang on.
Right after that Paul down and knockout in 1992, also he lost to John Lark. Those are the 3 times that he's been out of the fight. Well, we get ready for the next action here as again 2 fighters up, Todd Foster along with Reggie Strickland. Strickland again, I mentioned that record of 43-40-1. Will come in after getting some late notice, and of course will be stepping in with Foster from nearby Great Falls, Montana. Had the pleasure of being up in Kalispell, Montana to watch one of Foster's fight, and had a very good outing that time. But again, that was a few years ago, and now here he is in 1998. Let's go upstairs. Chuck Matheson for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout features 8 rounds of boxing in the junior middleweight division. When the bell rings, referee Jerry Armstrong will be in charge of the action. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing the purple trunks with the gray trim. He weighs in 151 pounds. His professional record, 38 wins and only 4 losses. 33 of those wins by way of knockouts. From Missoula, Montana, Todd "Kid" Foster. Across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with the silver trim, weighing in 162 pounds. His professional record, 43 wins, 40 losses, 4 of those wins by way of knockout. From Covington, Kentucky, Reginald Strickland.
One thing I do demand is that you pay attention to my commands at all time, okay? When I say break, I want you to break, stop punching, take 1 step back, okay? Just a little too much, okay? Any questions, guys? Okay, good fight.
Jerry Armstrong certainly making sure that he is in command right after the bat here. As again, Reggie Strickland, a little bit too much of the Vaseline on his face as Todd Foster will come at him from across the ring. That's not one of those father-son type things, as Vernon Foster is the trainer. That's the father of Todd, and sometimes those work, sometimes they do not. This one seems to have been a pretty successful one along the way. Let's get ready to go for round 1. Foster again in the purple with the gray, our light green trim, if you will. In the black with the silver is Strickland once again fighting out of Covington, Kentucky.
We've had some quick fights tonight, but I think we're going to get some rounds out of this one, Sam.
Strickland again already has fought in nearly 90 fights already.
Well, I got some news for you. Mr. Strickland actually has over 200 professional fights.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, he does.
Oh.
He's got over 200 professional fights, and he's been around a long time, and he's a good survivor, and he knows how to handle himself. That's why I think we're going to get some rounds out of this fight. Well, I don't know if the crowd will be thrilled with it, but
if he's been in over 200 fights, he is definitely listed as a survivor. Yes, he is. Strickland again trying to run away from Todd Foster. Foster again with those 33 knockouts, 8 in the first round, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. So 20 of his 33 knockouts have come inside of 3 rounds.
I kind of say Reggie's kind of like a rabbit in a hat. Now you see me, now you don't. He's kind of everywhere and he's nowhere at the same time.
Foster trying to sit out on a little combination there.
A wild overhand right. You wouldn't expect that from a guy with over 200 fights.
Foster first won any title as a pro as the state title. Beat Tommy Hanks in May of 1991 in a 9-round TKO. Made one defense against Davey Montana in August of 1991, winning that one in a 10-round TKO fight. That was for the state championship of Montana. Foster again, chasing the bunny rabbit around the ring.
And Todd's got to go to work on that body. That'll slow Strickland up a little bit. There you see him whacking to the ribs with the left hook. That'll help his cause. And Reggie won't be nearly so prone to scooting around the ring.
You can just imagine what's going through the head of Reggie Strickland, if indeed in 200 professional fights, about how he actually looks at the guy across the ring from him right now. Well, he doesn't compare to so-and-so, but he's better than this other guy, you know?
Job description is professional opponent.
That's right.
And in boxing, you have to have fighters who have some skills and are capable of holding their hands up and fighting and putting on some kind of an effort.
Strickland again, quite obviously defensive fighter.
Strictly defense.
Almost like a snake striking out of the dark that time with a looping right hand that he has failed to find Foster with either time. Closing seconds of round number 1. They're set to go 8 here tonight in Idaho as Todd Foster opens up with a solid first round. These are junior middleweights on the explosion tonight here from Coeur d'Alene. Sam Smith along with John Saraceno, the boxing writer for the USA Today. Todd Foster stalking his prey. His prey is Reggie Strickland in this Schedule 8-rounder. Boy, I tell you what, Foster's still setting down pretty well on those combinations, John.
He is, but it's difficult when you have a guy who won't really cooperate, and Strickland is not cooperating. And you'll hear some boos here before long if he continues this hide and seek act against Todd Foster.
Strickland, you probably at the moment, and I think we only need my right hand, count the punches he's thrown.
Well, he got hit with a right hand there, but he was a little bit off balance and kind of stumbled.
Didn't take Jerry Armstrong. I don't think he counted a knockout. It was a slip. So a slip on the part of Strickland here in round number 2. As Foster continues to stalk him into the corner.
See if Todd goes to the body here when he has him in the corner. Well, Strickland escaped again.
Foster looping, diving left hand that time.
Well, this must be frustrating to have to fight a guy like this if you're Todd Foster. You gotta chase this guy all around the ring.
Looping left hand that time by Strickland. And now you see Foster going right back to work on Strickland on the ropes.
Rope-a-dope.
He's resting and doing something over there as Foster continues to pound.
Threw one punch and hit Todd to the midsection, but that's not enough to win a round. Strickland's got to show some offense sooner or later, we hope. Todd just teeing off. And you see Strickland goes to the ropes. That's a sign of a fighter's legs starting to go. And if he's got those 200 fights in his career, and you can see sometimes when Strickland goes back, he kind of comes off goes on his heels. That's a sign that his legs are weakening. He's using those ropes for support.
Straight up the middle by Todd Foster after setting it up with nice combinations to walk himself in.
To see Todd still go to the body a little bit more when he has him in front of him. And there he tried a left hook again to the ribs.
Closing seconds of round number 2, set for 8. Todd Foster, a junior middleweight, and his opponent Reggie Strickland. Foster at 30 years of age, Strickland at 29. He's been busy for his 29 years, hasn't he?
Do that math. Fights per year based on 29 years
Mercy.
old.
And now the crowd is just as you had surmised, now starting to encourage Strickland to start fighting back here. They've got 10 seconds to go to the end of round 2. So the two fighters get ready to come up. This is the start of round number 3. Todd Foster in the left and Reggie Strickland in the black. We made mention in between rounds and asked John Saraceno of the USA Today to talk to us about Todd Foster and his climb up in weight and why he was never able to maybe get over the hump.
Well, a Jimmy Paul stoppage in 1992 really seemed to turn his career around. And then to get beat by an unknown fighter, John Lark, that same year, in stopping him in the first round, that really set Todd back. And he's really never been able to recapture that early momentum he had.
Did get an opportunity against Hector Camacho in 1995 for the IBC title, but was knocked out in the 5th round. That's one of only 3 times he's been stopped in his career.
And Hector Camacho, of course, not known for being a lights-out puncher.
Foster reaches a point in this fight as he's got a rubber ball he keeps throwing against the wall and keeps coming back at him in Reggie Strickland. And Strickland, you can see, taking a lot of pounding.
If you look up the word survivor in the dictionary, you will see Strickland's face.
I don't know if I'd like to fly halfway across the country, though, and take this kind of pounding just for a paycheck.
And now he's going to be warned. He's got to start fighting, or the referee will do something about it, either deducting points or halting the bout. People don't pay money to watch a guy cover up all night and run around the ring. It's nonsense out of a professional.
I could watch this on a practice session with a heavy bag. Foster mostly doing that kind of work here. Strickland again, only a couple of punches thrown here in the round. Looped a right hand. It might have been a tad low, but at least it was a punch.
I saw a better fight on the side of the road coming here, Sam, with you in the van. Strickland tries to sneak a right hand in.
Must have been around Mad Mary's or somewhere down the road. Here again is Foster still pounding on the ropes on Strickland in round 3. Still a minute to go. Jerry Armstrong, the referee, has already warned Strickland to try to put a little offense together here. Not necessarily what Strickland does, though. He comes in doing exactly what he's doing, and that, of course, is being a defensive fighter.
Strickland
right now, Foster's just pounding him, though.
I'm sorry, Sam. Strickland is giving our signature series name, Explosion, a bad rap tonight. He really is.
He's got a wet fuse tonight because it refuses to go off, that's for sure. Foster again. To Foster's credit, you made mention, a very difficult fighter to fight. He's still working hard in there.
I mean, you can't fault Todd Foster. He's doing everything he can to make Strickland fight. But actually, the more he hits him, the less Strickland wants to go at it. And there's blood coming from the mouth of Strickland.
He's also getting a little glassy-eyed as well. Foster right behind that peekaboo as the round ends. Foster gets ready for the 4th round.
I think Reggie's complaining he's getting hit. Gosh, I hope they don't get a lower shot here, our camera guys. Might see something we shouldn't see here. We'll have to rate Heavyweight Explosion R.
It's always nice to be on the cable and on the satellite. All right, now we're finally ready for action here. Coming up in round number 4 as the pad has been squared away, and here we go. Foster again, solid first 3 rounds. Trying to catch the rabbit, so to speak, here in Reggie Strickland. Strickland, oh my goodness, put 5 punches together.
And the Bronx cheer erupting from the crowd here in Idaho.
Strickland.
Sam, he threw more punches with that combination he had thrown in the first 3 rounds.
Exactly. Foster.
Oh, good left hand.
Digging that thing to the body now, isn't he?
Strickland did not like that body shot. Said something to Foster. You know, the best way to combat that is to actually throw punches. When you're throwing, the other guy can't throw unless he's a very good counterpuncher.
Strickland again up against the rope, trying to come out. There's another looping combination, but at least he threw a couple of punches again.
Todd should go to the body right here. That left hook is really working well when he's able to go downstairs. Trying to get Strickland to drop those gloves and then maybe go up top. But the way Strickland is holding his gloves in front of his face, glued to his cheeks, it's pretty hard to get a shot through there.
It's amazing how many Foster was able to slip up the middle early on. Now, of course, with those gloves, even despite the fact Strickland's getting tighter up a little bit farther on top of his face, maybe that body shot's got to come in again.
And Foster slipped in a right uppercut, and that punch will also work when Strickland has his gloves up in front of his face. Like trying to fight a water bug.
Now a little bit of warning to keep his head up for Foster from the referee, Jerry Armstrong.
You see the blood pouring now out of Strickland's mouth. He is taking a pounding. And that punch that he threw there, that was in retaliation. All those body punches that Foster was landing to try to get him off of him.
Less than a minute to go in round 4. They're set to fight 8. Now Strickland trying to elbow his way in. Foster would have none of that. Continues to pound above us. Foster's been a pro since January of '89. 38-4-0 his record with 33 wins by knockout. Almost a main event fighter just about any place you want to go around this part of the country for many years. Strickland still trying to hang on. Again, probably has thrown punches at least on 2 hands in this round. Foster, however, has more than 4-1 on all the punches that Strickland's been able to throw in the 4th round. Well, Reggie Strickland spends all the entire round up on his stool as they come out. Foster stalking. Strickland running. It's been exactly the same thing that we watched from the very start of the fight. I'm wondering if Strickland has another one of those 5-punch combinations in him here.
We might not see 5 more the next 4 rounds. He's got that George Foreman rope-a-dope. I should say the Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope act down. Of course, Ali deployed that strategy against Foreman. But I tell you what, it's not going to work for Strickland tonight.
He can gather all the strength he can gather, but lets you throw some punches. There's no doubt the fight definitely is Todd Foster. It's just a matter of trying to put a little entertainment into the boxing match here with Strickland against Foster.
Yeah, unlike Foreman, Todd Foster is not really running out of gas. He continues to press the fight and move forward.
It's a pretty solid performance by Todd Foster. As much work as he's had to put in.
Foster got caught there, Sam. One of those sneaky punches Strickland suddenly threw, and it landed.
That put a little bounce in Strickland's step, I think.
Well, Todd is standing straight up and right in front of Strickland because, let's face it, Strickland is throwing nothing back, so he can get away with that. And I think that's what his dad was telling him between one of those rounds was you're going to have to be a little more elusive so you don't get hit with those shots. Go to side a little bit. But Todd's coming right in. I mean, if Strickland would only throw.
Yep.
Todd is there to be hit.
And the way his gloves are starting to drop, even though he'll peekaboo as he starts his way in, he starts dropping them when he starts throwing punches. Strickland again backpedaling up against his ropes with, you see the time, 45 seconds to go here in round 5. Big uppercut just missed by Strickland that time. It'd be very interesting to have the punch-o-meter working on this fight tonight for Foster.
I was just thinking that the numbers would be so lopsided. Now, some of the punches by Foster, obviously the pity-pat variety, just trying to stay busy. And he'll mix them up. Todd a little off balance there. And Reggie trying to come back with a little combination near the end of the round.